Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm Noah from PhoneDog.com, and this is the Samsung Impression, one of the new AT&T messaging phones launched just before CTA in Las Vegas a couple weeks ago. It's the Samsung A877 Impression. It's a QWERTY messaging phone. You can see it's a slider. It's got a full QWERTY. Oh, it's got a camera too. Oh, look at that. It's me in stereo. And what if I just leave it like this? That'd be kind of funny. Let's do the rest of the intro like this. It's a QWERTY slider phone, and it's the first phone on a US carrier to have an AM OLED screen. Active matrix organic light emitting diode, if I got all that correctly. It's a new screen technology. Samsung showed this off actually on the Omnia HD at Mobile World Congress. But that's not a US carrier phone. That phone's not even in stores yet, but this one is the Impression. It's a big, vivid, beautiful display. Works well inside, works well in sunlight as well. 400 by 240 resolution, nice and big. It's a touchscreen. It's got the TouchWiz UI and everything on it, and the full QWERTY board, as you can see. And on paper, even on first impression, this is a killer messaging phone. I've had it for a little while now, put it through its paces. Full review coming up, and I'll, without spoiling the review, I'll tell you two things about this phone to consider. Oh look, now consider. Oh look, now see, you can only see my fingers if I'm behind the camera. Number one, this phone, it's kind of interesting because at the same time this was launched, LG launched the Xenon on AT&T, which is a similar QWERTY slider phone. It doesn't have the AMOLED screen, but it's half the price. The Impression $199 on contract, the Xenon $99 on contract. So that's, you know, a head-to-head, is it worth the extra money? And then the second thing, in testing this phone out, lots that I liked about it. A few things, you know, I'm not so sure about. One is I had some reception issues, which I'll get to in a second, particularly with data. Second is, for as gorgeous as the display is, there's a quirk about video playback that, you know, I'm a little disappointed in. I wish they'd done a little bit more to take advantage of the display. It's not quite the super high quality of the Omnia HD, but it's still really nice, and it looks great, like I said. Anyway, Impression. Did it make a good first impression? Yes. Has it made a great long-lasting impression on me? Let's get into the review and find out. Alright, so here it is, the Samsung Impression. We did hands-on video of this at CTIA. We did an unboxing video. Now I've had it for a little while. Full review. 3-megapixel camera on the back. The AMOLED touchscreen. The full QWERTY board. You've got 3 buttons on the front for call, cancel, and back. You've got on the top the Samsung proprietary connector for headphones, charging, other accessories, data cable. I really wish they would drop this and standardize, go with a 3.5mm audio and micro USB for everything else. But, you know, hopefully Samsung will be doing that soon. You've got your lock switch. You've got a soft key, which is mapped to the camera right now. You've got a rocker switch. Oh, I'm sorry, this is the hold button on the side. Sorry. This is, yeah. So you've got your lock switch, you've got a soft key down here, which is mapped to the camera right now. And then on the other side, you've got a rocker switch, and then you've got your shortcut key that gets you to the shortcut menu. All in all, this is a great messaging phone in a lot of ways. The QWERTY is really comfortable. It's nice and big. The phone, you know, it's kind of large. It's not super thin, but it's thin enough and light enough that even though it's kind of large, it feels pretty good in the hand. You know, here's a little size comparison. I've got a BlackBerry 8900, and you know, the Impression, longer but a little bit narrower. If I put this next to, we'll put this next to the Samsung Propel, which is another messaging phone, different form factor. And you can see, you know, the Impression, certainly when you compare it to something like the Propel, not only is it much more attractive, I think, but also size-wise, you know, not really that different. It doesn't really feel like huge and bulky. If you're stepping up to a messaging phone with a full QWERTY, you know, you're going to obviously have a little bit larger of a phone, and you know, the Impression, definitely for what you get, I think the size is fine. The QWERTY board, nice and big, nice and spacious, easy to type on. We'll go to the messaging interface here. Create a new message. And, you know, like I showed in the original video, really easy to type on. The space bar on mine is a little funny. The action is a little weird. When I press it, it sort of feels like it presses twice. Sometimes I don't press it dead center. It kind of has this weird, kind of mushy, like it'll double click sort of. Aside from that, though, the rest of the buttons are fine. Kind of a soft touch plastic, a little bit of a curved dome shape to them. Easy to type on. Not the firmest action, so some people, depending on your preferences, you know, you might not like the action as compared to some other phones, not like the hard chiclet style, like even this Nokia, little more of a hard chiclet style. The Samsung, you know, the Samsung, you know, a little bit softer action, but easy to type on. Again, large keys, decent amount of space in between them, double wide space bar is good, and your dialing keys are all easily labeled there. The messaging interface is pretty good. The touchscreen, it's resistive, not capacitive, but it works well. Samsung's resistive touchscreens are not the best in the business, for sure, but they're getting better, and you know, not too bad. All in all, would love to see capacitive instead. But you know, the AMOLED display is just great. I mean, the screen really pops. The graphics look great on it. There are a bunch of demo photos on here, but I actually loaded. I did this on purpose. This is a photo that actually a Samsung PR person took when we were walking around Barcelona at Mobile World Congress. Me next to the giant paella pans. You can, from this photo, you can either guess that I'm very small or those paella pans are very large. I will leave that up to you to decide. But if we zoom in, the photo interface kind of nice. You can see up here a little mini map of the photo, and I can drag around. And the quality on this, pretty good. A little bit of pixelization, but that's because, or pixelation, sorry, that's because I'm zoomed in pretty far. But the quality, nice. The display looks good. All right, now you can see the demo photos that came with the device. And again, you know, the quality of the display really quite good. We'll go back, and now it's rotated, so we can swipe this way. The one kind of issue that I have with the display and media playback and that kind of thing, like I alluded to, is video playback. The display is 400 by 240 widescreen. But for some reason the phone will not play videos that are 400 by 240. So I grabbed this video off of YouTube, and I grabbed it from, it was an HD video on YouTube. You can see I Bluetoothed it over from my computer. And so we'll go to this number 2, unsupported resolution. Right? So I hit the info, properties, MPEG-4, 400 by 240. The display is 400 by 240, so kind of weird that it wouldn't play. So I did a little research, and it turns out that the impression will only play videos up to QVGA, 320 by 240. So here's the same clip, 320 by 240, and I can stretch it, and it'll fill the whole screen, but it's not native resolution. Also, you can see the playback's a little bit choppy. It might just be too high of a bit rate. This is a 28 megabyte file for about 1:50, I think. You can see Ray Allen and Anderson Varejao getting into it there. And a little bit choppy in the playback on the computer, the original source file, not that choppy. So maybe too high of a bit rate. But kind of weird that, you know, for a phone that has such a great display and it's a new technology and everything, you know, you would have thought they would have made sure that, you know, it could handle videos that were custom formatted all the way up to the full resolution, 400 by 240, but instead it maxes out at 320 by 240. Kind of a minor disappointment, but then again, if you're, you know, when you're looking at this phone and you're looking at it compared to some of the other options, like I said, the Xenon, similar device, a little bit cheaper, the display is not quite as, you know, as high tech, or the iPhone, which, you know, you don't have a QWERTY board, but there's a lot going for the iPhone, you know, that the Impression doesn't have, and that phone also $199 on contract. You know, you want to make sure that you're checking this thing out to the fullest of its ability. So a little bit disappointing on the video playback thing there. Otherwise, again, you know, the phone, here's the TouchWiz UI, and it's not a smartphone, it's a feature phone, but Samsung putting the TouchWiz UI on all their different phones. It's got the AT&T GPS services on it, it's got all the AT&T media net and the web browsing and all that stuff.